Hey guys, Doc LaRiff here with Internet Kids Gaming. I wanted to do a quick update on my Witch Doctor tanking build and just show you guys exactly how much damage I can take now that patch 1.0.3 has dropped. I left the enemy cast bars up so you can see that this is indeed Inferno mode, and I run right into the middle of a large group of packs here. It's actually the first big group I run into since the patch dropped. And as you can see, Reign of Toads with 944 life on hit and 11.5k DPS is more than enough to keep a Witch Doctor alive. Now keep in mind, this is the same build I've been using, so I'm using the Helm of Command and I'm using the nice high block % shield. You've all seen my gear from the last video, but as you can see, it's a lot easier to take massive hits and you have to do a lot less kiting with this build, which is actually quite nice. One of the things I want to point out as well is you notice that Colossal Golgor hit me a couple times and didn't one-shot me. And that's not only that, that's in the midst of being hit by all the rest of these mobs too. You've got the Spear Chucker guys, you've got that are being vomited up by the Demonic Hellbreaker, you've got the little Gremlin Runt guys that run around that get revived by Fallen Shamans, and overall I can take quite a bit of damage. Now this is the first group of elite packs I've run into since the patch dropped. I wanted to get a video out as quick as possible, and I also wanted to push my limits and see exactly what kind of damage I can take with this build, just so you guys have a better idea of where you stand and what kind of DPS you need to do. So these are Molten Vampiric Knockback Fast. So that's the affixes on these ones. They're the little hellhounds or whatever. And as you can see, I can take a decent amount of Molten. I can stand in that a little bit. I can take the hits pretty well. In the beginning, when I was completely surrounded, I was taking a lot of damage, so I decided, just for the sake of the video, to kind of run out and see how fast the enrage timers would be on these guys. Because keep in mind, I'm only doing 11.5k DPS now. So what I decided to do was just go ahead and tank them head on, see how far into them I could get, see if I could kill them right off the bat without having to run away or kite or anything. And it actually works out pretty well. What winds up happening is I get one of these dogs down, he dies, and then I kind of underestimate the amount of damage I can take because I'm standing directly in the Molten on the ground. And so I stand in it for a little bit too long, and I do get killed. But what you'll notice is that before I die, all of these things are very close to death, and if I hadn't eaten that explosion that comes from the Molten affix at the end there, I wouldn't have died at all. So I could have effectively tanked these things if I had just moved out of that Molten explosion. I didn't want to move out of the Molten explosion because I wanted to see how much damage I could take, with this being the first new pack that pops up in 1.0.3. So I'm just going to go ahead and run back to these guys just so that you can see that I didn't die a whole bunch of times, I didn't hit a bunch of enrage timers. I just wanted to do kind of an uncut video. If you guys want to fast forward through it, that's fine. But basically, while we're doing that, I want to talk about a couple other things. One of the things that I've done is I've bought a new ring to replace my attack speed ring, since attack speed was nerfed. I just got a high int, high life on hit ring. I ignored all resistances for the sake of keeping it cheap right now because I noticed that the amount of damage I was taking was pretty negligible. So I just wanted to get my life on hit up, and that way I'd have a little bit more. So now I have 1,048 life on hit. I added about 134 life on hit to my build. Alright, so I make it back to the mobs. Now knowing what I know, I decide I'm going to they're back to full health because I died. And the enrage timers reset because when you die, the enrage timer resets to, with their health. So now I'm back. I still haven't hit any enrage timers, and I'm just kind of attacking them head on like I was before. But this time I'm kind of trying to keep in mind that, I'm watching out for those the Molten explosions, so that if I get hit again, I know to move a little bit because I can usually take one hit. What you'll see here is that the course of this fight to get these normal health size mobs down with the amount of DPS that I do takes approximately 2 minutes. Now I believe the enrage timers on these guys are 3 minutes. Now since this build is so tanky and you can eat so much damage, what I'm kind of expecting from this build, and this is kind of these are vampiric, so they're getting a little bit of health back, so that might be slowing things down a little bit. But one of the things I'm expecting from this build is, even with the extra health mobs, you can pretty much face tank and face pull these guys. And I'll kind of look into the different types of elite packs, and that might not turn out to be the case. there might be a few combos or a few types of elites that you have to kite around. But for the most part, so far in patch 1.0.3, it's very simple. It's just a head-on battle with this build. You don't have to do a ton of DPS for it to be effective, as long as you have enough life on hit and resist to compensate. And just to kind of finish it up right here, at the end, once I've killed them both, I get a double molten explosion, as you can see. Here it comes, molten explosion, die, and then there's the other molten explosion after I've died. So that's pretty much it for the Witch Doctor tanking build and how it's holding up post patch 1.03. If you guys have any questions, or you want to see me do anything else in the current patch with this build, or you want me to just keep you updated with the amount of DPS I'm doing, just leave a comment below and let me know how it's looking, and I will try to make another video as soon as possible. Thanks for watching.